Hello and welcome to this tutorial where we are going to jump right in to understand what cards are. As always, we're going to duplicate this template, and we understood why we have to duplicate this template. So to understand that we always have to link Bootstrap files, the Bootstrap CSS and the Bootstrap JavaScript. Everything, as always, can go into a container. And then this is the end. I don't want to code beyond that. Now, since we have enough space here, we will start with a basic. First of all, I forgot our tradition. Success, and then margin Y of 3. Then this is Bootstrap cards. Save, of course. Okay, so to make a simple card, we are going to start with a H4. It's not a must that a Bootstrap card is made with a heading 4. It's just one that making a heading, so you can be able to differentiate between the different sections that we are going to pass through. First, we wrap everything inside a card class. Okay, and most of the time you need to give it a width. It's not a must that you use this 25 rem width that I'm going to give, but it just looks better with the 25 rem width. You can change it to whatever you want. If I save this, there's nothing much you're going to see apart from that. It's waiting for content, except you're going to see the gray background. So inside the card class, we can decide the card body. That's the inner items. Then, and inside the card body, we can define two classes. That's the card title, and we can also define the card text. Okay, these two. So we'll just say here card title, and then here we put in some lorem ipsum, as you can see here. Bring it here so that we can see everything happening nice and clean. If I save this and go to the browser, you'll see a card appears. So that's how we're able to create a basic card. As explained, everything is wrapped in a card class, as you can see here. Then inside we can define the card body. Inside the card body, we can define two things. That's the card title and the card text. The card title, it appears here, goes there, and a card text goes inside the body. So you can put here any text that you want. I've just put lorem ipsum for you to understand. So how do you add a header and a footer to your card element to beautify it further? I'm going to copy all this and paste it here. And this one I'm going to say card header and footer. It's basically the same at the moment, but we're going to learn how to actually make it better. So for you to actually understand how we are going to add a card header and a footer, it's as simple as just putting in a card header element on top of the card body. So the card itself can take in a card header. Let me show you header for the card. So it's card header, card body, and then after the card body we can do a card footer. Get the gist? 3 items. This is for the footer. Okay, then if we save and we go back to the browser, you can see header, footer, and the body. The body takes the title and the text that you want to give. You can actually decide to put in buttons in the footer, but we're going to pass through that. Next, let's learn how to put in a card image or an image into the card, a simple image into the card. That I'm going to use one of these photos and see if it's going to work, because I don't have an image folder in my working folders here. So I'm going to copy the simple or basic card here, then going to paste it here and say basic card with image, going to be the same, but just before the card body we can put in an image. So let's do an AMG tag, and inside that we can do a source. So source is this. We're going to copy this URL. We want to see if we're going to get this. If I paste that URL inside there, okay, this is still the image. I'm not going to put in the alt. If I save it like this, look at what happens. See, it's just gibberish. Okay, but I don't want to believe that's best we can do. Let's do railway technology, Amtrak. Let's see, open image URL, or just let's copy the link address. It's too long for this, is too long. Let's see, maybe the one we've copied as well. I'm going to paste that, save it, see what happens. Just still show us there. Let's actually add other classes and see. So the class we're going to add on the image is card image top. Image is img top. If I do that, still not showing, and probably trying to find an image link. Going to accept that. Copy image address. If I paste that image address here, okay, let's copy this and go to this link. Don't worry, you don't have to use online repositories. It's just that I don't want to make one for myself at the moment. So if I go back, it should show. Okay, the image is showing now. So that's how we're able to use image links. We don't have to save the images to our computer. That's how you're able to add an image to the top of your card, basic card. Next, let's learn about columns and the different colors that we can actually add to our cards. So give an example of, let me make another section here. Yes, it's, what's the name? Card columns and colors, because I want to differentiate on them. First of all, let's create a row. Remember, columns go into a row. I'm using a row because we're already in a container. This is the parent item, but if you are creating a new item, you'll have to start with the container, then row. And then inside, I'm going to use your LMD4. We will pass through the columns tutorial for you to understand that. Inside each of these, I'm going to duplicate this. Inside each of these columns is going to be a card class, as always, and also a text with background of danger. We still have danger. Okay, inside each, remember, inside a card class we can have either card body, card header, card body, and card footer, but here I'm just using a simple card body class. Sorry, I forgot the full stop. So card body, and inside the card body I can have a card title and card text. Title, boom, card title. And then also I can have a card text. And this is actually, let me just copy this. I don't know why I have been struggling. It's there. So that's how you're able to add context class. If I save this and go back to the browser, you see it's added the danger. If I want to shift the color, so depending on, I'm going to copy these columns. If I want to put them on columns, MD4, so it can only take 3 because it's 12 columns, so 4 4 4, that makes it 12. So this one, let's make it success, and this one, let's make it info. This is how we get the different colors. So cards can also accept default background context. That's how you are able to include both the columns and the colors, but it's not a must that you use both of them together. You can just use the column separately from the background colors. That's it. Let's learn about card groups, and it's basically what it says. It's just a group of cards, and to place them, we'll just have to, let me use the H4 to separate this section, and I'll name these card groups. Better understand this, let's give an example. First of all, let's just use a card group as the parent element, and then inside the card group, let's use one of the items. Let's pick maybe one with the image, this, and place inside the card group. Where is it? Inside the card group. Paste. Paste another one. You can paste as different many items as you want, because it's going to give different alignment to it. I've pasted 3 of them, and if I go, you see different card groups. So it just touches each other. It's not like the columns, but it's more like it gives the outer ones this rounded corner to show it's the outer one. It's more like the button groups that we pass through. So that's how you construct the the card groups. I was about to say button groups, but it's card groups, because it just depends on what you want to do and the context as well in which you want to do. Let's learn about the last part of this tutorial, where in cases where we are just bootstrapping or creating an element quickly, we can use placeholders. Let me copy this H4, then place it here and say card placeholders. And a placeholder is basically what it means. It's holding the place for another item. Give an example. I want to bootstrap a website quickly for a client without having to think about where am I going to get such images, such as the train image, etc., etc. I'm going to show you using an example, and the way to do it, as always, you have to use a card element, and of course probably give it a width, preferably 25 rems, and from it I'm going to give a card title, but the card title and everything else goes into the card body. Inside the card body, of course, we are going to have a card title, then inside it, if I just save this and put it here, you see it's already created the item. If I was to give it, let's say, a title and say just title, it will show there's a title here. If I inspect element and have the screen centered, is when, see, there's a title here. Let me use the placeholder class. So on the item that you want to place to give the placeholder class, we just put the placeholder class and -glow, which that's a context for it to glow. And then inside, I'm going to give a span. What do you want to glow? Don't give anything here. just give a class of placeholder to the item itself. Holder. And first, before giving it a column, I want you to see it. It's going to do that. It's going to give that. But for how long do you want? I mean, how big in terms of columns do you want? I'm going to give 6 columns and see. You see, it now glows. It was not showing because we have not given it size for it to glow. And this can be applied everywhere. We can even go to the card body or card text and use different spans. I can actually copy this span item here. Remember what we said on the parent item, where you want the placeholder to be. Placeholder glow, the different context to the placeholder, what you want it to do. Like right now with the glow item, it's glowing a bit. If we stay here, see, it's glowing. I want to have several columns here if we want. So I'm going to have a span with a class of placeholder on the item, and how many of them? Let's say 7. Okay, so it's just been placed in a row instead of in a column. I'm going to try and bring them down like this. Okay, if I save, nothing shows, but if I give them a context, let's say COL, save, back, nothing shows because we are not given it what is supposed to be. So if I give it 4, save, so it has same width as you can see. If I do this 4, 5, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then I save. You're able to see this is how you, and I can reduce this, let's say 25 rems to let's say 20. Save. It's coming closer. If I do less, 18 rems, Control S, wait a second. Yes, it's coming closer to the items, but you see, this is how you are using placeholder to the different spacing and the different items that you want in your card element. And we can go all the way to even having a link in your card body or your card text. And most of the time it's not advisable for you to do anything in the card text area, especially when you're placing links or buttons. But I'm going to place a link here, of course going to anywhere, make it a button. So class of btn success, button success, and then make it disabled because I don't want to, or just any context. I want to show you that it's possible to have your button context classes applied here. Going to make it, if I save this and go back to the browser, you see your button is also there, and I can actually say place button and it will read it properly. You can see. So this is placeholder used in conjunction with cards. I hope now with what you've learned you're able to fast track your development. See you in the next tutorial where we're going to learn about lists and their groups. See you there. Bye bye.